Chicago in the 1920s was a city of contrasts. It was a time of great change and excitement, where the old met the new in a vibrant clash of cultures and lifestyles. Jazz music filled the air, and flappers danced in speakeasies. The city was alive with the sounds of trumpets and saxophones, the laughter of revelers, and the clinking of glasses. But beneath the glamour, a darker side lurked. The shadows of the city hid secrets, and the alleys whispered of danger and deceit. Prohibition had arrived, and with it came a golden opportunity for criminals. The ban on alcohol was meant to curb society's vices, but it only fueled the fire of illegal activities. The ban on alcohol didn't stop people from drinking. Instead, it drove them underground, into hidden bars and secret clubs where the party never stopped. It just created a massive underground market. Bootleggers and moonshiners thrived, supplying the thirsty masses with illicit booze. This was the Chicago that awaited Johnny Torrio, a young mobster with a sharp mind and even sharper ambitions. He saw the chaos of Prohibition as a ladder to power. Torrio saw Prohibition as a chance to build an empire. He meticulously planned his moves, understanding that the key to success lay in organization and ruthlessness. He knew that controlling the flow of booze meant controlling the city. Every shipment of illegal alcohol was a step closer to dominance, and he was determined to be the one in control. Torrio's vision was clear and his resolve was unshakable. The streets of Chicago were about to run red with the blood of gangsters and innocents alike. The battle for control would be fierce and unforgiving. The city's fate hung in the balance, a playground for those willing to break the law and claim their piece of the action. The stakes were high and the rewards even higher. The Roaring Twenties were in full swing, and in Chicago, the party was just getting started. The city was a beacon of opportunity, a place where dreams could be made or shattered in an instant. As the city lights twinkled and the nightlife thrived, Chicago stood as a testament to the resilience and ambition of its people. It was a city ripe for the taking, for those bold enough to seize it. The music played on, the dancers twirled, and the drinks flowed. In the heart of the windy city, the spirit of the Roaring Twenties lived on, a time of endless possibilities and relentless ambition. Chicago was more than just a city. It was a living, breathing entity, full of life and energy. It was a place where anything could happen, and often did. The Windy City was a microcosm of the American dream, a place where fortunes could be made and lost, where the brave and the bold could carve out their own destiny. And as the sun set over the city, the stage was set for a new era of power, ambition, and intrigue. Chicago was ready, and the world was watching. Johnny Torrio wasn't a flashy gangster. He didn't seek the limelight or crave the attention that many of his contemporaries did. Instead, he operated from the shadows, meticulously planning and executing his moves with precision. He was a businessman, a strategist who understood that power came from organization and discipline. Torrio believed that a well-structured operation could outlast and outperform any chaotic, flashy display of power. His approach was methodical, focusing on long-term gains rather than short-term victories. Arriving in Chicago, he saw the potential for a criminal enterprise unlike any other. The city was a bustling hub of activity, with opportunities for both legitimate and illegitimate businesses. Torrio recognized that with the right strategy, he could turn Chicago into the epicenter of organized crime in America. The city was teeming with vice, gambling dens, and prostitution rings, all ripe for the picking. Torrio saw these vices not as societal ills, but as business opportunities. He knew that by controlling these enterprises, he could amass significant wealth and power.
My vision was simple: unite the city's disparate criminal gangs under one banner. By bringing together these fragmented groups, we could create a unified front that would be stronger and more resilient than any individual gang. A fragmented underworld is a weak one, susceptible to both law enforcement and ambitious rivals. By uniting the gangs, we could protect our interests and ensure our survival in a hostile environment.
He sought to create a monopoly on vice, controlling everything from the flow of illegal liquor during Prohibition to the operations of speakeasies that dotted the city. Torrio's vision was comprehensive. He wanted to dominate every aspect of the underworld economy, to the odds in a backroom poker game. No detail was too small for Torrio's attention. He understood that control over even the smallest operations could contribute to the overall strength and profitability of his empire. He brought with him a young and ruthless protege from New York, a man who would become synonymous with the Chicago outfit, Al Capone. Torrio saw potential in Capone, recognizing his ambition and ruthlessness as valuable assets for the organization. Together, they would build a criminal empire that stretched from the city's back alleys to the halls of political power. Their influence extended beyond the criminal underworld, reaching into the very fabric of Chicago's political and social structures. Torrio's arrival marked a turning point in Chicago's history. His strategic mind and business acumen transformed the city's criminal landscape, setting the stage for an era of unprecedented organized crime. He was the architect, the mastermind who laid the foundation for the city's notorious outfit. Torrio's plans were detailed and far-reaching, encompassing every aspect of the criminal enterprise. And in Al Capone, he found the perfect weapon, a brutal enforcer who would ensure their dominance. Capone's fearsome reputation and willingness to use violence made him the ideal partner for Torrio's grand vision. Together they would leave an indelible mark on the history of organized crime in America. Al Capone was a study in contrasts. He was a man who could charm a room with his charisma, yet instill fear with just a glance. His dual nature made him both a public figure and a shadowy enigma. He craved the limelight, often seen rubbing shoulders with politicians and celebrities. Capone knew the power of public perception and used it to his advantage, creating an image of a man who was larger than life. He presented himself as a man of the people, a benefactor to the poor who provided jobs and handouts. In the eyes of many, he was a modern-day Robin Hood, a man who took from the rich and gave to the needy. Yet beneath this carefully crafted persona lurked a ruthless killer, a man who wouldn't hesitate to eliminate anyone who stood in his way. His benevolence was a mask, hiding the cold, calculating mind of a criminal mastermind. Capone's rise to power was paved with blood. He saw rivals not as competitors, but as obstacles to be removed. His methods were brutal, his resolve unyielding.
I learned quickly under Torrio's tutelage. He was a master strategist, and I absorbed everything he taught me. Torrio's guidance was invaluable, shaping my approach to both business and conflict. I was ambitious and eager to prove myself. From a young age, I knew I was destined for greatness. I was determined to climb the ranks no matter the cost.
He rose through the ranks of the outfit, earning a reputation for both his business acumen and his brutality. His ability to balance these two aspects made him a formidable leader. His ruthlessness became legend. Stories of his violent retribution spread like wildfire, cementing his status as a feared and respected figure in the underworld. He was implicated in countless murders, his preferred method a chillingly efficient one. The Chicago piano, a Thompson submachine gun that could silence enemies with terrifying speed. This weapon became synonymous with Capone's reign of terror. When Torrio, weary of the violence, decided to retire, he handed the reins to Capone. It was a decision that would have far-reaching consequences. It was a decision that would shape Chicago's destiny. Under Capone's leadership, the city would become a battleground, with the outfit at the center of it all. Capone, now at the helm of the outfit, was ready to unleash his full fury upon the city. His ambition knew no bounds, and he was prepared to do whatever it took to maintain his grip on power. Chicago would never be the same.
Under my leadership, the Chicago outfit tightened its grip on the city.
Speakeasies flourished, overflowing with illegal liquor supplied by Capone's network of breweries and distilleries. Gambling dens and brothels operated openly, paying a hefty tribute to the outfit for the privilege.
I understood that true power extended beyond the underworld. To operate with impunity, I needed the support of those in positions of authority.
He cultivated relationships with politicians, police officers, and judges, using bribes and intimidation to buy their loyalty. Elections were rigged, city contracts were awarded to outfit-connected businesses, and law enforcement turned a blind eye to their criminal activities.
Capone had transformed the outfit into a force that permeated every level of Chicago society. He was no longer just a mobster, he was the de facto ruler of the city. My rise to power was not without its challenges. Rival gangs, sensing weakness in the wake of Torrio's retirement, challenged our dominance.
The North Side Gang, led by the cunning George Bugs Moran, became a particular thorn in Capone's side. The streets of Chicago became a battleground, littered with the bodies of gangsters and innocent bystanders caught in the crossfire. The violence reached its peak in 1929 with the infamous St. Valentine's Day massacre. On that cold February morning, Capone's men, disguised as police officers, lined up 7 members of the North Side Gang against a garage wall and unleashed a hail of bullets. The massacre sent shockwaves through the nation, exposing the brutality of Capone's reign and finally forcing the authorities to take notice. The St. Valentine's Day massacre proved to be a turning point. Public outrage at the escalating violence forced the federal government to act.
I was a young and idealistic Prohibition agent, tasked with bringing down Capone and his empire.
Ness assembled a team of incorruptible agents dubbed the Untouchables by the press and set about dismantling Capone's criminal network. They raided breweries, speakeasies and gambling dens, chipping away at the outfit's vast profits. Capone, accustomed to operating with impunity, was enraged. He put a price on Ness's head, but the agent remained undeterred. He knew that to truly bring down Capone, he needed to find a way to pierce the veil of corruption that protected the mob boss.